Hi everyone. As some of you know, I went to the track last weekend. You can see the video up there, and it was great. The car behaved as expected. I prepped the car before I went to the track, and you can also see that video right there. But now that I'm back from the track and I took the wheels off, I'm swapping the brake pads back to stock. But I wanted to give you a quick glimpse at what to expect when you bring your car back from the track. What's the wear and tear on the vehicle, and mainly the wear and tear is on the brakes, the tires, and the front end. And here is what everything looks like. I took the wheels off. I'll get to that later. And don't worry, I'm not getting under the car. The car is jacked up using only a jack. But this is to show you. So let's start with the rotors. The rotors show really no wear and tear. You got these grooves, but they're not really grooves. I touch them with my fingers. They're not rough. They're just surface, I guess, discoloration. And the lip itself, I don't know if the camera can pick it up. Let's see. There's a tiny lip here, but I did 3 track sessions, I think 5 or 6 days in total with this car, and these rotors are still holding up great. So no complaints there. The brake pads. The brake pads were brand new last week when I put them in, and they still look brand new. These are probably the best brake pads I've ever had. They're Rotors DS 1.11, and they're fantastic. Crazy amount of bite on the street. But what's happening is they're very noisy. And if you're not hard on them all the time, they leave a deposit on the rotor that can be a bit rough under your right foot. So that's why I'm going back to stock until I go to the next track event. Then I'm going to put everything back in. Still staying on the rotor. As you can see, the rotor has these holes in it, which basically are to release the excess heat and help them cool faster. But as you can see, these little holes are filled with, there we go, these little holes are filled with brake dust. So all of that I can either punch through with some sort of a hole. I can just wait a couple of days of hard driving and everything will fall out. I don't think it's going to affect performance at all, but it just doesn't look the best. The calipers themselves are of course very dusty, and a lot of times people get this yellowness if you really overheat them. In my case, they're still looking blue, and then this is actually, you know what, this might have yellowed a little bit, the M logo, but other than that, they're looking very fine. Real quick on the mud flaps here, the mud flaps have stopped a ton of debris, and as you can see, so I'm very happy that I have them. The back, just like the front, probably less brake dust. The brake pads themselves are also looking great. So these will last me quite a few track sessions. But as we kind of zoom out here, this is one of the issues with track days, these tire marks. But as you can remember from my previous video, I linked it above. This is also very easily removable. Which reminds me, let's take a look at the front. The front end was protected by my track day clear bra. I took that off after the event, so it's fairly clean. But you got these little tire chunks marks here, for example. These will easily get removed by the procedure that I outlined in my previous video. And last but not least are the tires. So these are the front tires, and I'm happy to say that the front tires have worn extremely well. Some people with the M's complain of chunking, but I feel like chunking happens when you overdrive your tires constantly. These have been with me for 2 seasons now. And yes, the sidewall is showing some wear and tear, but other than that, they're pretty good. What you get on the inside, though, are these rubber marks that you pick up by scrubbing the tires. So they get heated and they stick to your wheel well. And these are the tire chunks. These are the tire chunks that hit your car while driving. So they get really hot. They hit your car, they leave a mark, and they fall off. That's only rubber. There's really no metal in it nor anything, so they're fairly safe. But the tires themselves are fairly good. I can definitely do a couple of track sessions with them. The rear tire is also very good. Less wear and tear on the side because the front takes the most abuse. And then there's plenty of thread, and of course, just like before, you got these rubber chunks that are stuck on the inside. I mentioned to you guys before, aluminum tape over your wheel weights will save them from delaminating and falling off. So do that if you plan on tracking your car. So that's it. Track days are not necessarily that hard on these cars because these cars are made to be driven hard. It made me realize when I went to the Nürburgring, link above, and I saw all the ring taxis that were these F80 M3s just driving like crazy, and it just made me realize that, you know what, these cars are not meant to be baby. They're meant to be driven hard, which is exactly what we did at the track. So I'm gonna go ahead and swap the pods, swap the wheels, and but I'm not gonna bore you with that because we've done this a couple of times in the past. But on that note, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.